Okay, so peace, everybody. So today I want to talk about death as a person because we are always talking about death as an event or an inconvenient circumstance or inconvenient change in your life, but we never talk about death as people or person that actually manifests in our lives. Okay, how do you know when someone manifests in your life as death, you know? And if they do manifest in quote in close relation to us as a spirit of death, right? Why? How did we attract these people in our lives? All right. So some of the ways that we can tell whether or not if we have someone in our lives who is governed by the spirit of death is by evaluating them using the following characteristics. For example, if you have someone in your life who is governed by the spirit of death, right? You'll know because they're non productive. You know, everything that they try to do on their own, they fail. They're constantly losing, you know. They would probably make $100 and end up losing $200. Nothing goes right for them in their life. Whenever they're around, they bring sorrow. Or it feels like they're stagnating you, or you literally feel like they are absorbing all of your energy. This is a person who is always depressed, they're living in misery, and they're also very manipulative. Another way you can tell is that they are very needy people, and they're also very clingy. And it feels like if you relate to them in any type of way, whether it be a relative, a loved one, or something like that, but it feels like you're dragging them along with you. You know what I'm saying? You're dragging them. And it just always seems like whenever they come around, it's like they just change the whole energy. But one very important way you can tell if you have someone in your life who has the spirit of death on them is that they limit you and they restrict you from doing the things that you enjoy most. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just their presence alone, would limit you from expressing yourself before them or um, anywhere around them. You know what I'm saying? And it's like every time they come around, it's like always problems. These people, without you having tarot cards and being able to actually pull cards and see that, if you just utilize if you start to analyze people around you by these particular characteristics, you'll be able to tell automatically if this person has the spirit of death on them. All right. And what makes the situation bad is if you allow them to attach themselves to you without you having any knowledge of having to control them. You understand? Because it has been written in history that we have the ability to control death, and we do. And it all begins with perception. Once we can change our perceptions, then we can come to realize a lot of the powers that we have. But we do have power over death. We have the power to control death, and that is proven through our daily experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like in situations of challenges where we experience fear to move forward. You know what I'm saying? Fear that limits us from advancing, limits us from productivity and things of that nature. And if it's something that we really want, a lot of times what we'll do is we'll push past that fear and we'll go for it. You understand? And then once we push past that fear and, we go beyond it, we start to experience a newness, whether it be a new life or just a overall newness in our life. That's proof alone that we have the power to control fear, we have the power to overcome fear, we have the power to conquer fear. But that all depends on how you perceive fear. Or what I meant to say was, well, fear too, because I relate fear with death, okay? So once we push past fear, which is in essence also death, you know what I'm saying? We get to experience a newness in life, all right? Um, the thing is that people who are governed by death, they lack understanding of how the universe works. You understand? They lack knowledge of order, you know. I could say that they lack knowledge, or I can say that they actually have a inborn in-depthness of knowledge. You understand? And it's deeper than what we can understand or perceive along the surface. But as they appear to me, these people, is that they lack knowledge. You understand? And that's why they live in sorrow. Because a lot of the things that they want to manifest, they don't realize that they need energy in order to manifest it. And in order to get that energy, you have to be able to live your life as a human. You have to be able to live a certain way, and they can't live that way. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to live your life not as a human, but a divine being. And they can't live that way because they have so many fears that they cannot imagine letting these fears go. And these are the same fears that are limiting them and keeping them from progressing and moving forward. You understand? So they live a lifestyle of sorrow, and they also live a lifestyle of manipulation, because here is where we find what we call trickster spirits, or in voodoo we call them gede spirits. All right? And these are what is said to be masculine energy, because it externalizes its energy. And their energy is kind of like, it's very aggressive. It's like a war-like mode. You know what I'm saying? Um, and they use it as a means to gain control. You know what I'm saying? They use it as a means. They use it as a means to suck the life out of you. You know what I'm saying? So here's where we also find. Here is where we also find out the origins, or we realize the origins of the words vampirism. You know what I'm saying? Because these people are also vampires. You know, all of these names that I'm calling out, they are associated with the dead, or these terms, the terminologies that I'm using, they are associated with the spirit of death. You know what I'm saying? All your narcissists, and people like that, they are associated with the spirit of death, because the only way that they can survive in the world, first off, is that they literally need a medium. They literally need a medium. Someone, and there could be anyone who is receptive to their energy. You understand? Because they have to have a medium as a means to express themselves in order to manifest. You understand? So what happens is, generally, when you have the spirit of death that covers some men, what they do is they go through life tricking their way through lives. You know what I'm saying? They get women, the woman will serve as their medium, and they would literally just suck her dry of energy. You know what I'm saying? And they'll use all different types of techniques, anywhere from sex to verbal abuse to physical abuse to emotional abuse. You know what I'm saying? Because what's going on is that the woman is in ignorance. She's living in ignorance. She doesn't understand what's going on. She's caught up in her emotions. And that's what the spirit of death does. It gets you caught up in your emotions, in an illusion, because that's the only way that they know that they can be able to take your energy, you understand, without you being aware of it. So if you're not studying the dark arts or any form of magic, you're likely in a lot of trouble. If you're not studying universal law, or you're not reading tarot or doing something spiritual, you are likely suffering a lot of problems in your life, because that means you have no awareness of the trickster energy that is surrounding all of us right now. Everyone is being challenged by trickster energy. You You understand? So, and I know it because I see it. I'm seeing it happen. You know what I'm saying? And I see the tricksters all around me as well. And that's the only way that you can really be able to control this energy, the energy of death, or what have you, and everything else that comes from it, narcissism, vampirism, and so on and so forth, is that you have to have awareness of it. You have to know it. You have to be able to recognize it. You understand? And just like it's written in history in some of the books, in the religious books, you have to be able to recognize it and call it by name. At that point, that's when you can control it. You know what I'm saying? And death at that point begins to work in your favor, because death at that point works to serve you, because it wants to be able to express itself through you. But if it is unable to manipulate you in order to get that energy, then it will bow to you. You know what I'm saying? And basically take whatever it is that you give it. You know, there are actually people in this world who live up to that code, and they are all over the earth. And you have women who are just living in sorrow. Not just women, but you also have men. You have people who are actually living in sorrow because this person is bringing sorrow into their life. And let me tell you something. When someone who has the spirit of death hovering over them or shadowing them, you understand, and they attach themselves to you, whatever it is that they go through, until you are able to recognize who they are, you understand, and gain control over the situation, they are going to suck the life out of you. And that is their whole purpose. You know, you won't go anywhere. You're going to feel stagnant in your life. You feel like you're not moving anywhere. You may be somewhere where you just feel bored, or you get this feeling of death that just comes over you. You can feel it in your gut. You can feel it everywhere. You understand? So when you come across people, especially if you're a tarot reader and you've done a reading, and you've confirmed in your consultation that this person that has appeared in your life has the spirit of death shadowing them, okay? At that time, it doesn't mean that you don't have to deal with them, but you need to know. You need to know how to deal with them. You understand? You need to know how to deal with them, because you cannot allow death to control you. You cannot allow trickster spirits to control you. You cannot allow the dead to control you. You understand? We have to control ourselves. And once we control ourselves, then we have complete control over them. And they would seek to serve us. They will find ways to introduce themselves to us to get our attention, so that way they can serve us. You understand? It's this spirituality thing is so deep, especially my path. My path is specifically deep because I have come to realize so much within the last month about myself that it's almost overwhelming, but I've been keeping up. I've been keeping up. But yeah, it's really deep. It's really deep. So I'm just telling you guys, just be aware and keep your eyes open, you know, because it's a lot of subtle things that are taking place. The thing is that the most important thing is that there's a lot of vampirism that's going on out here. A lot of serious fucking blood sucking demons that are walking this earth. And they manifest in our lives as the most beautiful creatures. You know, they know everything about us on an individual basis. They give us the attention. They know what to say. They're very charming and they're very captivating. And that captivation exists to lure you away from your path. You understand? You have to be strong in this time and not allow that to happen. Because if it happens, right, and you get trapped, it's like you're being trapped on the other side of the veil, on the other side of the moon, which is the darkest side, the side that no one can see. You understand? You're being trapped in a mirror. You understand? So you have to be able to see and understand what's going on. There is no one in this world that is going to cater to your emotions. There's no one that in this world that is going to cater to your bullshit, your lies, the illusions that you're caught up in. There's no one in the world that's going to cater to that unless they want to exploit you. Believe that. Believe that. So it is time that you wake up from these illusions so that way you can see who is in your life and you can see them for what they really are. Because you have people out there that are walking this earth that look like human beings, that look like women, that look like men, and they are the most beautiful creatures on this earth. And they ain't nothing but fucking demons. If you could take a look under or look within the shell that they are wearing, you will see nothing but pure fucking ugliness. And they exist in your life to wreak havoc in your life. And the reason why they will wreak havoc in your life is because you cannot identify them, you cannot see them, so you cannot control them. You cannot control them. You understand? But they're at the same time in a spiritual sighting, or viewing it from a spiritual side. Basically what's taking place is a purification. You know what I'm saying? You're being refined. You're being made stronger. You're being made more pure. You know what I'm saying? You're being cleaned. You're going through a process of elimination where you're dumping the things that you no longer have, so that way the things that you need can replenish you and give you the life that you need. So there's so many different ways that you look at it. On a human level, you can look at it as something that is oppositional, but however in a spiritual world, because everything relates, in reality everything relates, there's a reason for all things, we can say that when we attract the spirit of death in our life, it is because we have some impurities within us that we need to dump. You understand? So this situation or this process that I'm going through exists to clean me, to purify me, and make me a better person, a stronger person, if I survive it. You know what I'm saying? So, because if you don't, then you'll just end up having to repeat it over and over again until you do. You know what I'm saying? So yes, pay attention, people, because I actually have Saturn in Taurus. Okay, so Saturn governs death, governs elders, governs ancestors, ancestral forces, deities, ghosts, demons, you know, the dark side, the dark entities, trickster spirits, the Gedi spirits, Oya, and that also corresponds with the third spear of the tree of life. And in Kemetic science, that would be Seker, and in Kabbalah, it would be Binah. Right. All right. So, and it also governs spiritual power and telekinesis and things of that nature. Represents hard work, success, and also governs. Also, Satan is in that sphere, and we also have spiritual power, telekinesis. It's a very powerful, that spirit right there is that's where our power is. I'm telling you, people of color, and I'm not being racist, but I am specifically speaking about a people of color. That's where your power is, because the color black is also associated with that spear. So yes, so melanin, yes, anything black is associated with that spear. Anything that's dark or hidden, unknown, mysterious is associated with that spear. So, yes, guys, I work with that energy. I work with that energy, and you all should be working with that energy as well. That energy has been in our lives for ages, and we are supposed to be mastering this energy, because at one point we did master this energy, but because we have been torn down from our original selves, we have forgotten the use of this energy, and we have ancestors and these trickster spirits around us to remind us, to bring us back to who we are. You know what I'm saying? So instead of getting mad because we fell into traps, or because we were tricked, or because we were deceived, we should be saying to ourselves, I know something like this will never happen again, and this is something that I can pass down to someone else, so that way they can open their eyes. You understand? So instead of focusing on the negativity, you know what I'm saying, we should be focusing on the positive aspects. You know what I'm saying? Because everything that we go through is going to make us stronger. So there are two ways to look at, you know, the spirit of death and the trickster spirits that are associated with it. We can look at it on a negative way, in which case it just takes from us, you know what I'm saying? Or we can look at it in a positive way, in which case it just continues to add to us. You understand? So it all depends on you and your mindset. So I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. But in the meantime, like, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe to get the most out of these videos. Peace.